Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatic Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Before we get started here, I just kind of want to throw out just a little bit of an update on how we're doing things with the show. Last week we had a bunch of recaps, and then we talked about some stuff with the Bucks. This week we don't have any recaps because we've been posting them as the series end for the Milwaukee Brewers. We're kind of going away from doing the recaps on the Wednesday shows just because we've begun putting out our thoughts as soon as the series end, and when we get to Bucks season and things are going to be like that. We're going to do something kind of similar, so stick around with that. Other than that, Packers coverage is going to be almost exactly the same, except it's just going to have more. So that's that, and then Tuesday nights are just going to be Jake and I, but we're going to have more Packers content coming out, like post game and stuff like that, and then later in the week. So there's going to be a little bit more Packers content, but our Packers shows on Tuesday nights are not going to change much. Now, Wednesdays today, we're going to have a lot different stuff kind of going on. So we want to use the Wednesday shows to be able to dive into some topics a little bit, talk about some more broad topics, talk about some more specific topics. So today we're going to discuss Cooper Pratt's first week in Major League Baseball, and then we're going to discuss the Milwaukee Bucks trading Giannis and their 2 draft picks. So that's what we got on the docket today. So, Jake, as we get started here, what are you excited to talk about?
So I saw this floating around in the Twitterverse, and I thought it was an interesting topic. And I know what my answer is. I don't know. Do you want me to give you my answer after I answer the question, or do you want me to give you an opportunity to answer?
I feel like it's going to depend on the question.
Okay. So they said now that Giannis is traded, who is going to be the king of the state of Wisconsin in terms of sports? And I know what my answer is. I have one guy that I think could take the role. And I have one guy that I think is going to take the role. You go ahead.
So I feel like I know the answer to both of your little points there.
Okay.
The guy that you think could and the guy that you think will.
Okay.
The guy that you think will is Jordan Love.
Nope, but keep going.
And then the guy that you think could, I'm just gonna say this is who I think it's gonna be then. I think the guy that will take over is gonna be Jordan Love. And I think the guy that could, depending on what happens in 2027, is Jacob Mizorowski.
So I think the guy that could is Mizorowski.
Okay, so I had that one right.
The guy that's going to is going to be Micah Parsons.
Oh, okay.
One of the best players in the league, very outspoken, like he's charismatic. Also helps that he's really good.
Right.
So I think that it's going to be Parsons, and I think that Mizorowski will definitely have a hand in that conversation.
If Mizorowski starts, like, not that I don't think he's embraced Wisconsin, but like if he starts being more of like a Wisconsinite type person, which I would have a sneaky answer to that question, and I think my sneaky answer would be Tucker Kraft.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because you can tell Tucker Kraft already loves being a Wisconsinite.
Oh yeah, he's already Midwest being from the Dakota.
Tucker Kraft loves it here. So I think I think possibly I would even go as far as to say maybe likely Tucker Kraft is going to be here in Green Bay for a little bit longer.
I can see that. That's a good answer. It's a very good answer.
Okay. So first things first, we are going to talk about Cooper Pratt's first week in Major League Baseball. So Jake's got the numbers, and I have some comparisons. So I'm going to let Jake talk first. Jake, what do you think about Cooper Pratt's first week in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, so this is a guy that ascended very quickly up the ranks. A guy that they stole out of high school. He was a 2023 Mississippi Gatorade Player of the Year. I had a lot of fun spelling Mississippi. You know, took me back to when I was a kid. MISSI, when you were a kid. 2023 Gatorade Player of the Year there. In 24, he played in the Futures game. He was a Carolina League postseason All-Star. He was a Robin Yell Performance Award winner for the Brewers, which is the Brewers Minor League Player of the Year. And he won the Minor League Baseball Gold Glove that year with a .976 fielding percentage, and he helped turn 51 double plays. So this guy's not here by mistake. And in his first week, really perfect. He started on a Tuesday, ended on a Tuesday for us to be able to cover this. So we get 8 days Tuesday to Tuesday, 23 at-bats, 7 hits, 2 RBIs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 4 stolen bases. And a few things that you take away. He has 2 2-hit games. He had one on Wednesday last week, and he had one on Saturday. He had hits in 5 straight games. He hasn't had a hit in the last 2 games, but he had hit in 5 straight games. He's had walks in 3 separate games. He walked 2 of the last 3 games as well, so his plate discipline's already improving. And you can tell that also by the strikeouts, because he had 4 of his strikeouts in his first 4 games and only 1 strikeout in the last 4 games. So proving that, stealing a lot of bases. Like I said, he's got 7 hits and 3 walks. So that's on base 10 times. He has 4 stolen bases. So you're talking about 40% of the time he's stealing a base when he gets on there. And that, you love that.
Awesome.
He's also giving you defense. He's just taking everything in stride. And I think that the future is bright. I think they fixed the shortstop position at this time. Now a little bit more focus needs to go on third base, I feel, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel that person's coming.
Yeah.
Obviously, the name that we're kind of hinting around is Jesus Mate, but I think Andrew Fisher now being in Double-A, I still think that with Fisher coming up to Double-A, I feel, and Cooper Pratt moving up to the bigs, I still feel like in the second half of the season, I'm going to be on Jesus Mate Triple-A watch. Just to see, and maybe it's more towards the trade deadline where they make some trades that involves some AAA guys. We're going to be discussing a lot of that kind of stuff next week. Next week's going to be an entirely Brewers-centered episode, and it's going to be focusing a lot on all of the levels of the teams. This is, honestly, Jake and I are really excited to be doing things this way because it gives us, we can spend 40 minutes next week just talking about where the Brewers can go from the trade deadline and how they can shift up the organization. So that's a very exciting thing for us to be able to spend more time on. Steve said Pratt will get his first home run in the majors against the Cubs. How ironic. That would be cool, but I'd love it to happen tonight because he's in a hitter-friendly ballpark where there's not being any runs scored, apparently.
I don't care where it happens as long as it helps us get a W, man.
Yeah. So I took Cooper Pratt's numbers for his first 7 games, so this would not include last night. And just looked at him through his first 7 games. He's batting .350, .391 on base, .350 slug, so he's got all singles, and then a .741 OPS, which is still above average. He's still looking for his first extra base hit. Like Jake said, he's already got a bunch of stolen bases, which is great. And I don't expect him to stay at a .350, .325 batting average. I'm not saying that. But I did want to look at where he kind of stacks up against some of his peers. So I'm looking at Connor Griffin. I'm looking at Colt Emerson, who was extended shortly after Cooper Pratt was for a significantly higher amount of money. I looked at Kevin McGonigal, a third baseman called up by the Tigers earlier this season, and JJ Weatherholt, who started with the Cardinals. Kim, thank you. We appreciate it.
All those guys are good, by the way.
All those guys are good. And I just looked at their first 7 games in the bigs compared to Cooper Pratt's first 7 games at the big. So Cooper Pratt, .350 through his first 7 games. Connor Griffin, .143. Colt Emerson, .286. Kevin McGonigal, .346. And JJ Weatherholt, .259. On base percentage, like I said, Cooper Pratt, .391. Connor Griffin, .240. Colt Emerson, .375. Kevin McGonigal, .414. And JJ Weatherholt, .300. Slugging percentage, I mentioned Cooper Pratt, .350. He's got all singles, no extra base hits. Connor Griffin, .190. Colt Emerson, .571. Kevin McGonigal, .538. And JJ Weatherholt, .370. OPS, Cooper Pratt, .741. Connor Griffin, .430. Colt Emerson, .946. Kevin McGonigal, .952. And JJ Weatherholt, .670. So he's right among all of his peers in all of the rate stats through their first 7 games in the bigs. Obviously, Colt Emerson and Kevin McGonigal having some extra base hits in there helps them. Both Emerson and McGonigal had 4 extra base hits. Emerson having 3 doubles and a homer, and McGonigal having 3 doubles and a triple. But both of those guys, 0 stolen bases. Mm-hmm. So there's extra bases being added there, just not extra base hits. So that's why there's, like, with baseball, there's really no one encompassing stat. You really, when you're talking about baseball, you have to talk about multiple statistics. Mm-hmm. You can't leave things out. And I've grown to be more of a inclusive person, including slugging, because there should be a thing that values extra base hits more. So that's where I think OPS comes in, and that's a helpful stat. But all four of those statistics tell a story. Adding in stolen bases helps tell the story. Not striking out, because batting average on balls in play, BABIP, that is a good number to know. Because guys that don't strike out, I don't love looking at it through the lens of calling it quote unquote productive outs, but stuff like that does help. I mean, like a sac fly last night to plate the second run for the Brewers to score last night. I mean, it still helps to have a ball in play and make an out more than striking out. So that kind of thing. I mean, we've talked about it over the last couple of years, tons, about the Brewers targeting since the 2020 draft, guys that don't strike out, guys that put the ball in play, and guys that have good plate discipline. So Cooper Pratt 100% fits in with that. He's right along with his peers and other guys who got long-term extensions. I mean, Colt Emerson, Kevin McGonigal, those guys got those long-term extensions and got paid a significantly higher amount of money than Cooper Pratt does. And once Cooper Pratt finds his power like he was starting to in Nashville, that slugging and OPS will tick up, and his numbers will look great.
Yeah.
So maybe a month from now we'll discuss Cooper Pratt's first month in the bigs. I'm actually going to write that down now because that sounds like a good idea, and we can do the same guys and compare the same guys and talk about their first months in the bigs. Mm-hmm. That's what we're excited that we're doing, is we have more time to discuss these type of things. So, fellas, anything else you want to say about Cooper Pratt or the Brewers?
Just keep winning games, baby. That's all that matters.
All right.
I'm excited to do my recap on the Red Series tomorrow.
All right. I'm actually going to put that on August. Cooper Pratt's first month. Okay. So we're going to switch to the Bucks now.
Yes.
And we're going to discuss the Giannis trade, and then we're going to discuss the two picks that the Bucks made last night during the first round of the draft. I love that because the trade isn't technically official. They have to say, we've acquired the draft rights to Nate Ament in a deal to be completed later.
Yeah.
So it's funny that way. I got you on the Giannis trade. So what I did, the first thing that I want to say on the Giannis trade, because I think it needs to be mentioned, is that there were definitely people, and there was always going to be people who thought we didn't get enough for Giannis. That was always going to be the case. There's never anything that would be enough for everybody. Yep. But what the Bucks got was 3 first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, a second-round pick, and then 4 players. Now, the 4 players that they got were Kasparis Jakukonis, who was a 2025 first-round pick, number 20. They got Khalil Ware, who was a 2024 first-round pick, number 15. They got Jaime Jaquez, who was the 2023 first-round pick, number 18. And they got Tyler Hero, who was a 2019 first-round pick, number 13. So if you think about the 4 players that they got, plus the 3 first-round picks, it's like 7 first-round picks, essentially. They just didn't get to make 4 of them. They were picked for them. But it's essentially a 7 first-round picks, a pick swap, and a second-round pick. That, I think, is the mentality that Bucks fans should have when asking themselves, did they get enough for Giannis?
Yes.
And then the other part of that is we talk about the Josh Hader trade ripples all the time. Whatever the Bucks end up trading Tyler Hero for, like, that is also going to factor into the package. So keep a subconscious thought on that as well. Simon, that's what we're here for, so we can explain that to you. And yes, Kim, we definitely will do the first month. I wrote it in my planner, so it's going to happen. So, Jake, 4 guys, 4 picks, a swap. What are you thinking about for the return? And we can look at it from the picks, from the return as a whole, but then I want to talk about each of the players individually. So let's grip and rip it.
I'm feeling different than I was yesterday after reading something today. And I know a lot of people read it. And I don't want to sit on here and just rip on players, because obviously I love Giannis and I love Bobby. I really feel like I was one of the last people as a Bucks fan that still loved Bobby Portis last year. There was a lot of people that were like, "Oh my God, he's terrible. Get him out of here." I'm just like, I love Bobby Portis, man. I actually love Bobby Portis, and I'm not trying to call you out, but like, there's a lot.
I had my reasons. I feel like I explained it well.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that agree with you too. So
right.
it's nothing against anybody. You're allowed to have your own opinions. I had emotional attachment to Bobby with how he carried himself. Like he was a good guy in the community. And I know I've said this about, Aaron Jones being a good guy in the community, like it's just a business, but it's tough, man. My girlfriend was pretty tore up about it too. We love Bobby in my house. We always go Big Bobby. We just like randomly say it all the time. And like, we love Giannis, and me and my daughter, we had a thing where we would flex about Giannis, and it was tough when we found out, but the return that they got is really nice. I'm going to go in. I'm going to talk about the trade. Then I'm going to go in and talk to my individual, and then I'll give you the floor. Does that sound good?
Let's talk about the trade first and then do the individuals.
Okay. The trade, Tyler Hero, people need to get over that he decommitted from Wisconsin to go to Kentucky. I would have went to Kentucky too. They were literally an NBA factory at that point. What are you talking about? The goal is to get to the next level, just like at your job. KJ, I'm very excited to talk about him. He is a very interesting piece, and the Bucks were adamant on him being in the trade. They were like, "Yeah, we're not taking this shit unless you put him in the trade."
That's why I want to talk about the trade as a whole before we start talking about the individuals, because I have things to say.
He's a big guard too, 6'6". Jaime Jaquez, same thing, big guard, 6'6". Really good playmaker. I have some things to talk about him, but he is interesting. His pick and roll with another guy in the trade, Khalil Ware, is something that I really like.
I got that written down too.
Khalil, I was watching highlights for a couple hours today. Khalil Ware, dude, he is just length on length. So you replace Giannis' length with Khalil Ware's length. Now, length for length doesn't mean that you're going to get the same impact, but maybe a guy with length who could block shots, and he shoots threes and free throws at a lot higher percentage. Doesn't get the amount of free throws that Giannis did, but he still shoots them at a much higher percentage. The 2030 swap, that'll be good for us. 2031 and 2033 first rounder, you got to put yourself in the mindset of, well, I saw a funny joke actually that I can't believe the Bucks are making a trade for sixth graders right now, which if you do the math, it's like sixth graders, which is like, oh, damn, that's crazy. But also, and again, I'm not trying to trash people, but like Giannis has been hurt the last couple of years. He's missed a lot of playoff games. We lost a playoff series against the Heat where Giannis missed a lot of that. Giannis was out a lot the last couple of years in general. So in 2031, he'll be 37 years old. In 2033, he'll be 39 years old. I don't think Giannis is playing until 39 with the way that he plays basketball.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo at that point. Bam is 34. He'll be 36 in 2033. I'm going to say this, like I said it to everybody at work that I talk sports with. I think LeBron has ruined everybody's expectations, just like Brady and just like Jordan. Not everybody plays into their goddamn 40s that efficiently.
Right.
Let's go look at Tim Duncan's. Let's go look at Kevin Garnett's, bigger guys. Let's go look at Dirk Nowitzki when he got that age. You don't move like that. You're not as efficient, so you're not impacting winning as much. Right. So the 31 and the 33 first rounders, real nice sweeteners.
Right. And that's the thing is you don't want their 2027 and the 2028 first round picks. Those are the months or the years that they're going to be trying to compete. Those are the years where you're going to be getting, okay, you want number 27, you want number 28.
No.
You want number 25. God forbid, the Heat, it doesn't work out for them and they get eliminated in the play-in and you get number 21.
Yeah, no thanks.
Like, no, you want to trade for the picks for when you think that team's going to suck.
Yep.
So that way you can be the Pelicans looking at the Hawks and being like, as soon as you guys suck, we're taking your pick.
Yep.
So you want to get to the point where you're Oklahoma City and you win a championship and then you lose in the conference finals next year and you're still picking at 12 and 17.
That could be the Bucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, the Bucks didn't get as many first-round picks that weren't made already as the Thunder did, but you're getting pieces already. The Thunder picked all their pieces. The Bucks essentially picked the pieces from Miami that they wanted. So with that, now, like I said, you want to get the picks for when you think that team's going to suck. You mentioned Giannis being banged up. I think that's a fair thing to talk about. I'm not saying that it should have lowered the trade value, but I guarantee you that Miami would ask you to lower the trade value because of the injury risk. I love that John Horst came out and said that your roster construction after you trade for Giannis is not our problem.
Yep.
I love that by Horst. I also think that, people on Twitter are like, oh, you can't add that. He's banged up last year. Bucks don't give a shit about that either. The Bucks are trading you Giannis for what his ceiling is. The Bucks are not trading you for 2025, 2026 Giannis. They're trading you for a top 3 player in the league when healthy.
2-time MVP.
The Bucks and Pat Riley don't give a shit about the fact that you on Twitter think that he was hurt last year, and that's what his value is today. Because it's not. That's not how it works.
No.
Now, it doesn't mean, it's not like he's coming off of an MVP season and that's what you're trading for. So it's like he's not, peak number 1 player in the NBA trade value, but he's not worth, we're trading for a guy who played 36 games and was an MVP 5 years ago. Like, they're not looking at it like that either.
No.
Now, that said, I think there is a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of a chunk of Bucks fans who do not necessarily owe the Bucks an apology, but need to admit that the Bucks were right to hold out Giannis for the last 3 months of the season.
They were right.
That was absolutely 100% the right call to not let Giannis play banged up, because that would have been an insane risk. Knowing what we know now was that Giannis said he was not going to sign an extension in October.
Yep.
As soon as they found that out, they'd be like, yep, you're not putting a jersey on again.
Yep.
Kim said it was tough to hear at first. Giannis was my daughter's favorite Bucks player, but it's a business decision like any other sport or player. Honestly, and I told Jake to explain it to his daughter Winter the same way, is to explain it like the Aaron Rodgers trade.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of just time. Like, he's getting older, wants a chance to win a couple rings before he retires. Very similar type situation. Now, obviously, we don't have a Giannis Jr. waiting in the wings the way that we had Jordan Love under Rodgers, but the NBA draft is only 2 rounds, not 7, like it is in the NFL.
Yeah, it's
not a 1-for-1, but you can use it to explain it to kids that way.
Yeah. No, I just gave her the, all the good things come to an end kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then the second thing, before we talk about the individuals, said it last night. It feels gross. I'm going to say it again. We might have to thank Boston for getting involved.
Yeah.
Because I have seen a lot of media members saying that the Bucks were smart to take Miami's offer and not to trade for Jaylen Brown and the couple of picks that the Celtics were offering. But the Celtics getting seriously involved, I do think, forced Miami to include that second-round pick and Kasparas Giannis. I think the reason this deal wasn't done a month ago is because the Heat didn't want to offer Giannis and that second-round pick. And once Boston was like, hey, if Miami's not giving you what you want, what about this? And then days after Miami got it, or Boston got involved, Miami's like, all right, we'll give you guys what you want. Just give us Giannis. So I think we kind of owe Boston a little bit of a thank you. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And by doing that, they've, actively killed their culture, which is what the Bucks have been doing pretty actively themselves over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And we've seen what's happening with that. But the Celtics are one of those teams where you look at it and they're a model franchise with the way that they're run. So affecting anything of their culture makes me feel a lot better about the Bucks' position in the East. I kind of like our roster right now, to be honest with you.
Good. I'm super excited to talk about it. Steve said their picks last night that they made last night were pretty good overall. Let's talk about the individuals. So let's talk about Tyler Hero first. Jake, what are you thinking about Tyler Hero?
Tyler Hero. So I wrote down a couple of awards that he won. He's been a 2-time player of the week, which is a big deal. It means he's dominated a few times. He played in the Rising Star game in 2020, 2021. He made the all-rookie second team when he was a rookie, 2019, 2020. He's won the NBA three-point contest. He was an NBA All-Star in 24-25, and he's won the Sixth Man of the Year award in 21-22. He also led the NBA in free throw percentage in 2022. So career 19.5, 5 and 4, 44% from the field, 38% from 3, 89% free throw shooter. Last year, he upped his game a little bit more. He averaged a whole point more, 20 points. So he's a 20-point scorer, 4.8 rebounds, basically 4.1 assists. He shot an efficient 48%, 38% from three, and 91.7% from the free throw line. So this guy is a bucket. He's an offensive engine, guy that can get it going. We've seen him get a lot better with the pick and roll over the last couple of years and working that floater. He absolutely killed the Bucks a couple of years ago on floaters when Brook Lopez was still man in the center playing that drop coverage. But he's a guy that can get downhill. He's from Wisconsin, and he seems like he's pretty happy to be back, tweeting out 414 last night. So seems happy to be here. And for all the people that are like, oh, we need to trade him. I don't know. Maybe a change of scenery. Maybe the guy makes the All-Star game again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the opportunity to be the offensive engine. Maybe he's the guy that gets it going.
Yeah. He was also a sixth man of the year in 2022. So, I mean, like, he can be, a pretty prolific scorer and obviously a guy who can help you win games. Now, I think with Tyler Hero, he's going to be 27 in January. His skill set and his age give you kind of a unique opportunity with him. Obviously, Taylor Jenkins being a new coach for the Bucks gives you the opportunity that you can spend the first half of the year just kind of being like, does it work? Do they like each other? Do they love each other? Do we want to keep him here longer term? ? Mm-hmm. And you can ask yourself that question and get to February and be like, okay, we're either going to trade him or extend him. And I think both of those things have, if you're looking at the balance beam of which option they should do, I feel like it's truly a 50-50 option. And like I said, with his age and skill set, if you're looking at all these other guys that are 20, 21, 22, that Tyler Hero being 27, and even if you call yourself 5 years away from contention, when all those guys are in their 25 to 27 range, Tyler Hero's going to be 32.
And his play style will translate into his 30s.
Exactly. And his play style will translate because he's a shooter. He doesn't rely on his athleticism or like playing through contact, stuff like that. He's a shooter. He's still going to be able to do that at 32.
Yes.
So I think both options are equally on the table right now. And you don't have to make that move now. Like, you can play October, November, and December and then make that decision.
Yeah, I totally agree. He is eligible for a 3-year extension. For anybody wondering why we're saying that, he is eligible for a 3-year extension right now. So you can wait until, midway point of the season, see what his trade market is. If you like him, like Tyler was saying, I don't know. I'm kind of on board with keeping him around. You're fixing the culture around here in Milwaukee. So, and you're getting 4 players from a team that had good culture, even though they didn't win a ton of games over the last couple of years. Culture's a big thing. Taylor Jenkins, that's one of his first jobs, and Tyler Hero's going to help out with that.
And be prepared for us to talk about that when we talk about the draft picks.
Yes.
Okay. Who do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Jaime Jaquez. Let's just go down the line here.
All right. Jaime Jaquez is the guy I'm most excited to talk about.
Go ahead. Rip away.
All right. So Jaime Jaquez, 2023 first-round pick. He was number 18. He will be 26 in February. Mm-hmm. I really, really, really like him as a slasher. Mm-hmm. He's got some sneaky speed. He's got a really good spin move. He's a solid ball handler. He plays fast. The Heat played fast last year. Taylor Jenkins wants to play fast. I like that fit. He actually finished second in Sixth Man of the Year last season. His assists, one thing that's really interesting, his assists from 2024-2025 season to the 2025-2026 season went from 2.5 to 4.7.
Oh.
He almost doubled his assist numbers from 2 years ago to last year. He's got floater game, and the thing that I want to say with him having floater game is it's not like a point guard. It's not like Trae Young or James Harden floater game or Jalen Brunson floater game. He's got it like where he gets close to the rim and he makes jump hooks like a big man, except he does it off the dribble. So I really like the way that Jaime Jaquez, like I said, he can kind of slash to the rim. He's got really good footwork also. He's a high IQ guy, so he knows where to be on the floor with or without the ball. Love that. He's a little short at 6'6" to be a small forward, but Josh Hart is 6'4", so I mean that works, and he plays like a power forward anyways. And then he's also 225 pounds.
I know.
So he can handle contact, and offensively he actually seeks it out. Like, he plays really well. He's got a really good bump move without doing the chicken wing. He's got a good just shoulder bump and finish. And then he's a decent defender. And the thing that kind of holds him back in some people's minds is the fact that he's not a good three-point shooter. I don't care. I mean, we are now being able to move away from the fact that we don't need everybody on the roster to be able to shoot anymore.
It's fair.
So with him not being a three-point shooter, he's got, like I said, decent handles, decent speed, and he does a really good job of eating up the space if guys are like sagging off.
Mm-hmm.
He does a really good job of attacking that. So it kind of makes it a non-issue, in my opinion. And he can still make the wide open ones, when he needs to. So super excited about Jaime Jaquez, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about him.
Yeah. He finished fourth in his rookie of the year during his season. He was drafted the same year that Wemby was drafted. For anybody that was wondering, but he was the 18th pick, like you said. So him to go from 18th pick to fourth in rookie of the year is something that really proves the player development down in Miami. So that was something that the Bucks struggled with. We just took 4 people that they drafted in the first round, and they player developed for us. So they put in the hours in these players, and then they traded them. Like, thank you for doing the first hard part of this, and we will take your semi-finished products, and we will then use it to win games. Jaime Jaquez, yeah, you're giving me a guy that's 6'6", get downhill, finish through contact. I wrote down that he seeks contact too, but I didn't want to repeat the same words that you said. But he averages 15, 5, and 5 basically on 50% from the field. And he shoots basically 77% from the free throw line, so he's an efficient scorer there, efficiently in the paint. He has a really nice ability to kind of feel out when to throw the lob pass. He did a lot of them to Khalil Ware.
Yep.
The thing that I think the thing that I appreciate the most about this trade is the Bucks got a lot of size in this trade, man.
Mm-hmm.
6'6" is a good size. We had a lot of guys that were either super tall or super short. We didn't have the middle ground guys, and that's why a guy like
wings. We needed wings.
Yeah, a guy like Kyle Kuzma. I was blanking on his name for a second. A guy like Kyle Kuzma was so important to us last year because he was basically like one of the few wings, and why Taurean Prince was so missed last year because he was a wing. Yep. Now the Bucks just loaded up on wings. But Jaime Jaquez, dude, I was going to say, but if he shot 34% from the three-point line, 35%, honest to God, I think he would have won Sixth Man of the Year because that was pretty much the only difference I saw between him and Keldon Johnson. And he might be a guy that, creeps up to there, that 21, 22 points per game, and he might make an all-star game, dude.
He's got. I like his skill set. And for reference, for anybody listening, Jaime Jaquez shot about 31% on threes. So Jake's not talking like a 10% increase. We're talking like a 3 to 5% increase.
Yeah, just get a little bit more efficient from the three point line. This is a guy that can score you. He can average 20.
Yeah,
with his play style.
Yeah, like you said, if he's even 1 or 2% within league average, which is usually around 36%.
Yeah.
With his ability to get to the rim, if he can shoot 35% on threes, that's only going to make it easier for him to get to the rim.
Right. And he's one of the reasons why when I was watching some of the highlights, I'm like, dude, the Bucks are going to be really fun to watch next year.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. I texted you before the show after I was looking up more about Brayden Burries. Like, the Bucks are going to be fun. And we talked during the draft last night. Thank you to anybody who tuned in with us. That's all I want for the next 2 seasons. I don't care about their record for the next 2 seasons. I just want them to be fun to watch.
Yep.
And the players that they got with the skill sets that they got. Yep. And I think we should go from Jaime Jaquez to Khalil Ware just because there's a pretty clean bridge there. And the fact that those two have really good chemistry.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited just to see how those two play together. And just to see those two, playing off of each other and Jaime Jaquez throwing lobs, like you said. So if you watch our show, if you've been watching our show for a while, when we covered the 2024 draft, you and I were both very high on Khalil Ware. And he didn't make it to the Bucks. He got picked by the Heat, and we're both like, damn it, the Heat are smart for picking Khalil Ware.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what we have to say about him. So I'm going to let you go first on Khalil Ware. What did you think about getting him in the trade?
Yeah, Khalil Ware, dude, super long. A guy that started his college career at Oregon, transferred over to Indiana to get himself drafted. I remember watching him in college and being like, oh, the Bucks could use that guy.
Yep.
He averaged 11 points, 9 rebounds, almost an assist a game, so really wasn't used as a playmaker. Maybe he's a little bit better passer than people give him credit for, just wasn't using that role. And for the Heat, 1.1 blocks per game. He shot 53% from the field, 39% from 3.
Yeah.
And 74% from the free throw line. He's played in 141 total games in his career. 70 of them start, so about half his games he's been starting. And I think that's a really good way for the Heat. What they did is they kind of just took him along a little bit. Hey, you can start against maybe this bad team this night. Like I didn't watch every single Heat game over the last couple of years, but hey, you can have this start here. Oh, somebody's hurt. Oh, you can start the next 3 games. So gradually bringing him along. So he's just a big, long defender. He can switch. He likes to play fast. He's a lob threat. He can be the trailer on 3-point line. He can spot up in the corner, spot up on top of the key. Him and Jaime Jaquez, dude, were going nuts in my highlight reel.
Yeah, they were, dude.
I was like, holy shit. And then Khalil Ware pulled out a couple, mid-range faders off the passes. And I'm like, oh, he had a couple putback dunks. He had a couple that he tipped to himself and then yammed it down hard. I'm like, dog, why are they giving this guy up?
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And he can block shots.
And he blocks shots, dude. So I'm like, when we got him in the trade, I was like, Miles Turner can leave now. He can do everything Miles Turner does.
Yeah.
And he's 22 years old and a hell of a lot cheaper right now.
And that's the point of why we were so excited about Khalil Ware as a potential prospect, because that was before we got Miles Turner. So we're looking at guys who can space the floor and shoot, but also play down low. Mm-hmm. And Khalil Ware is that thing. Like, I will say on the subject of Miles Turner, I don't hate the idea of keeping Miles Turner and him being able to teach Khalil Ware a thing or two.
Bro, them on the floor together will be nasty. They can still space the floor.
True.
Both block shots.
And they're both athletic? Shit.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Damn.
I
don't hate that either. Steve? Another Steve? We got 2 Steves in the comment section.
Steve squared.
The makeup of people watching this show is 50% Steve and 50% not Steve. The other things with Khalil Ware, he finished 6th in Rookie of the Year after being the 15th overall pick in 2024. He just turned 22 at the end of April. People talking about it like they needed to flip Khalil Ware right away. Like, no, they don't. There's no reason they need to flip Khalil Ware. He's got a ton of skills and he's 22.
All right.
The other Steve said, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Simon said, I'm Steve, you're Steve, we're all Steve. With that, now you mentioned his 3-point percentage. He's a lob threat. He is absolutely those things. The last bit of thought process that I would put in here as well is that Taylor Jenkins has done very well with developing big men like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark. So I'm very interested to see what Taylor Jenkins can do with Khalil Ware. Okay. Last player, Kasparas Jakukonis, is the last player the Bucks got in the deal. He was a 2025 first-round pick last year, number 20. He just turned 20 at the end of May.
Yep.
He is barely 20 years old. The Bucks literally drafted a guy who was older than him.
They did.
And he's got a year of NBA experience already. So, again, that's why I say, think about these guys as extra first-round picks, not just you got 4 players, 3 picks, and that's not enough for Giannis. You got essentially 7 first-round picks for Giannis.
Yep.
Kasparas Jakukonis, very good ball handler, very good footwork. If you were a Badger fan, you will remember him being an absolute problem at Illinois.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, Miami drafted that guy. Damn. They know what they're doing.
Yep.
And this is one of the things we discussed about trading Giannis is if you don't like the way that the Bucks draft, I mean, is there a team that you would want to trade for a bunch of their former first-round picks? It's probably Miami.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to lie. Boston's probably number 2.
Maybe the Thunder, but yes.
I will level with you on Thunder. And obviously the Spurs, but they got to pick top 5 3 times in the last 3
Yeah,
years.
that's not fair.
It's a lot harder to get unlucky when you're in the top 5 constantly.
That's very true.
Very good ball handler, very good footwork. He's a good shooter. He's got a really quick release on his 3-point shot that he shot 42.3% on last year. I love that. And he's got good speed. I see the vision with Jakukonis, honestly. Like Steve said, I love the squad. It's talented. I can't wait to watch the Bucks.
They just completely flipped the script from the last 2 years on this team didn't have enough depth, and it was Giannis-centric. They were building a roster around Giannis, and we're old and we're expensive, and now we're not that expensive. We're young. We got a ton of talent. We got a ton of depth. We're almost in a position where we have too much goddamn depth, dude.
And speed. And there's still good shooting and youth and athleticism. I'm really excited.
New leadership's gonna play new play styles, so it's gonna be really, really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right. Anything else you want to say about Kaspar's Jack Kokonis that I didn't say?
Yeah, two things. One thing that I noticed that I really liked about him on defense is he's kind of a chest up kind of guy. He can get you into his chest and he can kind of control you from there. He gets you in a box. The Bucks haven't had a guy that could chest up defense since fucking Drew Holiday, dude. Oh my God, I am so excited for a guy that can actually body somebody.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna rip this since he didn't play a ton, and he really had to like kind of envision some things. I just wanted to say some of his career highs, and you can envision what him reaching his potential would be. Career high in points is 22, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Imagine that as a game. That guy can affect the game in so many ways. Again, 6'6" guard, 200 pounds, or 210 is anything that I've seen him on listed. But yeah, KJ is gonna be nice. I really like this trade for the Bucks. They got a lot for Giannis. I started writing some stuff down, but I'm gonna make a little video as soon as the Bucks and Giannis and Bobby release their videos on July 6th, thanking Giannis and Bobby and myself. So,
alrighty. Steve said he feels like he's watching some ping pong balls in a lottery hopper. Some of these guys are gonna hit. Some of these guys will hit for sure. Yeah. So let's talk about Brayden Burries first. Jake, what did you take away from the number 10 overall pick that the Bucks made last night?
Brayden Burries, a guy that can score from all 3 levels, a guy that can get to the rim, finish on top of you or through you. He became a really, really reliable 3-point shooter at the end of the year. And he's a guy that, honestly, after watching him talk with Taylor Jenkins, he wants to be here. So he's excited. He said it feels surreal. He's a really, really talented guy. He gets to be around guys like Jaime Jaquez and Tyler Hero, guys that have been there and done that before. That's a good thing as well. The depth at the guard spot is really, really tough for the Bucks, honestly.
Yeah.
I like the pick. That was a really, really solid pick.
He will be 21 in September, so he fits right in with the crop of guys they got for Giannis. He was actually the first Arizona freshman to average 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. That had never been done by a freshman at Arizona.
Oh, my God. Which
is kind of crazy considering the basketball history of that school. Like Jake said, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's 6'4", 205. Steve asked if doesn't he get to the line a bunch too? I think he did starting more towards the end of the season. He started getting to the free throw line more. That is one thing that I've heard people actually would like him to do more is get to the free throw line more. But I've heard him compared with a lot of similarities to Ryan Rollins. But he's got a little bit more beef. He's a little bit more physical. He can definitely get up too. He will try to dunk on people, which is super fun. He's got solid speed. He's capable in a pick and roll situation. And I think my favorite thing about him is that he is a good and willing defender. Jake and I talk so much about guys who are willing defenders. You can never have enough guys like that. So I'm really excited for the Brayden Burries pick. And I will say I wasn't quite as excited about the Nate Ament pick, even though I do think when I said about Nate Ament is that I would only have him on my board if the Bucks traded Giannis, and that did happen. Only reason I didn't love the Nate Ament pick is because I think it hurts Ousmane Dieng's development because their play styles are kind of similar, even though Ousmane Dieng is a better 3-point shooter. I will say a lot of the scouting that's talking about Nate Ament is that he got better at 3-point shooting towards the end of the season. So there's that. Obviously, he's 6'10". So, I mean, a 6'10" guy that shoots mid-range, I mean, the comparison there is obvious. But
a lot of people are comparing him to Durant.
That's exactly the comparison.
I've seen that a lot.
And the 3-point development with him only being 19, I think it's possible. And, I mean, I was just talking about it with Khalil Ware and big men. I mean, Nate Ament is going to play more like a small forward, but, I mean, he's a small forward in a 6'10" frame, and who knows what he's going to look like in 2 years when he starts putting muscle on.
I'm just saying.
So I will say it's a very developmental pick. And, you know, like I said, I think it hurts Ousmane Dieng a little bit. But, I mean, if I'm being real, I think the Brayden Burries and Nate Ament picks give the Bucks a little bit of flexibility if they want to try to sell high on a guy like Ryan Rollins or Ousmane Dieng.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think about Nate Ament?
I did not hear that, Steve. I've only been seeing people talk about his game. So the thing about Ament that I really like is obviously his length and he's not afraid to take any shot. So people are talking about, oh, he always makes tough jumpers. You mean he takes tough jumpers and he makes tough jumpers. That is a good thing, by the way.
I did talk about that last night during the draft too, that his size is absolutely an asset because he can get to his spot and he can rise up over literally everybody. Again, that's literally what Kevin Durant does.
We literally had a guy who was 6'8", who wore number 22, who got to his spot and took tough mid-range jumpers. He was pretty fucking good at it too. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to turn into the player that Chris Middleton was, become a multiple-time All-Star or anything like that.
Also not saying that he's going to be Kevin Durant either, but, I mean, the vision is there.
But if that is his ceiling, and, Vince Lombardi said it, we're going to aim for perfection because even if you miss, you're pretty good, right? So I think the Nate Ament pick is good. And, something I said last night was iron sharpens iron, right? And I just said it about 2 minutes ago that we almost have too much depth. That's a problem you want to have. Look at the Brewers.
Especially when you're young. Like that's the problem you want to have because you want to find out who's going to be good and who's going to be able to move on.
Yeah, dude, him being young, I saw that as well. Somebody said that he could still grow to be 7 foot or 7'1". I'm like, whoa. Imagine if being 7'1", hitting mid-range jumpers like that and dribbling like that and dunking on people like that and not afraid to shoot three-pointers like that.
And using his length to be a help side defender. That was the other thing that I noted is that his length and athleticism make him a good help side defender. So
at this point, when you're looking at the trade, you're looking at the draft picks from last night. We added the number 13 pick. We had the number 10 pick. Now, what a poet. I agree, Simon.
I think he was. If you miss perfection, you can still hit excellence.
Yeah, I didn't know the exact quote on top, but you know what I was talking about.
It's because you're not a real Packer fan. It's okay.
Suck me. Looking at the trade as a whole, when we get to that 2031 pick, and we're talking about the draft picks that were drafted in 2026 and all these players we got, the Bucks could absolutely be a problem, and the Heat could be having problems. So I'm very excited for this season. I've also seen a lot of people talking about Taylor Jenkins being like, well, I hope he knew he wasn't gonna coach Giannis. Let me tell you something. Taylor Jenkins seems like a man's man. I don't know if any of you out there have watched any of him talking since he's become the Bucks coach or anything before. Justin, suck it. But God damn it, now you just ruined my train of thought. You son of a bitch. What I was going to say, Taylor Jenkins is a guy that doesn't run from the smoke.
Yeah.
He is the smoke. He is the fire. He demands your respect, and he talks about competing. You're going to give me a bunch of hungry dogs that were just traded? Yeah, I'm in right now. And I cannot wait till October for the season.
I know, dude. I'm super excited to watch them.
I'm in. This is going to be awesome.
Not to mention that half of this roster could be playing in Summer League in a couple of weeks, so we'll get a glimpse. But, I mean, we talked about Taylor Jenkins being like the guy that you would want to be able to take you down both roads, whether you keep or trade Giannis, because we know he's a good player development guy. And he brought player development coaches with him. So the next steps that we're looking at with the Bucks is what could they possibly get for Kyle Kuzma and Miles Turner, if those are options of guys they could trade in the future. That very well could carry into the season and all the way until the trade deadline, until people are, looking for like, hey, we had a forward injured, we could use Kyle Kuzma. Here's 6 second-round picks, or the Raptors decide like, hey, we're third in the East right now, and we want to truly contend, so we'll give you this, and 2 first-round picks for Miles Turner. Like, Steve asked, what is the financial situation? Could we get a top-flight free agent next offseason? I think they probably could. They probably won't. They'll probably wait to start considering spending like max contract free agent type money until Damian Lillard's off the books.
Well, and Tyler and I found out yesterday that after this season, we'll only be paying one head coach. So that's a good thing. Yeah. That helps.
And then the last question that we were asked was, how long is the rebuild? And I will say, I think with the youth that the roster has, I'm thinking probably like 2 to 5 years. And that's without going full tank mode. I still think within those 2 to 5 years, the Bucks will make some playoff appearances. I'm not expecting them to make like deep playoff runs, but I'm really kind of looking at this past year's Hornets of where I want the Bucks to be like now. Like I want them to be a team that's going to be plucky. I want them to be a team that's going to be fun to watch, and I want them to be a team that you just put out there and you're going to just see what happens.
Yeah, they took players from a team that was over 500, made play-ins the last couple of years. So you're adding them to a different system, different team. Like I said, they're hungry. The coach is hungry. He feels like he got done dirty in his last coaching.
He absolutely did, by the way.
As well. Tyler mentioned that, so go back and watch that. Like I said, a lot of young guys, hungry guys. It hasn't felt like this in Milwaukee in probably 9 years.
At least.
A lot of hungry young dudes ready to fucking win, and Budenholzer feeling like he got done dirty in Atlanta. I mean, we're pretty much hit the reset button from 10 years ago. So I'm excited.
Yeah, very excited as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back again next week. Next week is going to be heavy on the Brewers, and as always, if there's anything you guys want to hear us talk about, now that we're not doing the recaps on the Wednesday shows, we want to know what you guys want to hear us talk about. So. Justin asked, do you think the style of play changes now, and how so? I want to see 48 minutes of hell, fast and furious on the floor personally. Honestly, I think maybe that's the kind of question we do discuss after Summer League. And after we start seeing some of these guys playing together and in Bucks uniforms. So I think that's a great question that we will absolutely come back to. So I will put that in the planner for probably mid-July. And I think that's a great question for us to kind of delve into a little bit more as the roster starts to take shape, and we see how the guys do in Summer League, and Taylor Jenkins starts talking about the guys that are coming over in the trade.
Appreciate
All right.
you guys.
Thanks, everybody. See you guys next week.